And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you from Westlake Village, California. It's bright, it's early, and it's time to get into these charts. We're going to take a look at traditional markets, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance and a few altcoins, a few meme coins, a few special picks for the end of the day. Actually, some incredible trade setups are right brought us. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and join the Discord in the link in the description below. All right, shilling done and getting into the chart. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to bring up a couple of things here. One, this is the white 200 simple exponential moving average. In general, as long as we're below there, pressure going to be on to the downside. We do have our first higher low and higher high on the 4-hour time frame for NASDAQ. And just reiterating our stance that, after the VIX had that huge spike earlier this week, or was it earlier this week already? I believe, when was that? On Monday, the 5th. We are now approaching the end of the 13th? The 13th? It looks like we're getting close, but that VIX spike, man, what a short that would have been. And the volatility has now gone down drastically, down by 72%. Needless to say, the bias buster here, every time we get a spike into this zone, stock market rips to the upside. So just look what happened, and essentially what happens is the Fed comes out and prints money and either lowers rates or injects liquidity into the market. We've been talking about Janet Yellen, who's been injecting liquidity into the market in the form of basically selling bonds, not quantitative. It's kind of quantitative easing, something to do with the repo market, but we brought up an article there. So just in, PPI for July came in at 2.2% year over year, below expectations of 2.3%. So inflation's getting better. Yeah, sure it is, Kamala and Biden. Sure it is. And PPI for July came in at 0.1 for the month over month. So the big number, I think, is this 2.2. We know inflation is not at 2.2%. We know it is not. So don't believe the lies, right? Don't believe the lies. The CPI report. And that's going to be coming out tomorrow. And a lot of, people are, I think, front running the decision that Powell is going to go ahead and cut rates. He's going to go ahead and cut rates because inflation's going down. And I think people are front running that decision right now because they think the numbers are going to come out good tomorrow. But overall, we did say, look, NASDAQ very likely to put in a substantial bounce from that level. Looking good. So far, so good. S&P 500 looking good. Dow's good. Nikkei, big bounce. Big bounce for the Nikkei. Checking in on the dollar. And the dollar is playing out to the downside like we suspected. Probably going to get sucked into that purple 200. That would be bullish for risk assets. Checking in on CME with the island gap here. The island gap, which was filled. First pass was a rejection. You can see that, right? Filled with a rejection. And, the big question is, are we going to get one more test down to test out this wick? I think that would be the more professional thing to do. But, the market does like to have its own way and do its own thing. And I do not have a crystal ball here, but I can tell you this. We got declining volatility. So if we do take a swipe down in this area, I would expect a bounce. I don't think we're going to shatter through there unless we get news of World War III, which, kind of the X factor out there. All right. Back on to PPI. PPI. Okay. Interesting tweet I found here from Mr. Crypto Nobler. Just basically saying here that the next bull run starts to late. During the previous cycle, Sol did 120%. Matic did 250%. Here's a list of tokens with 100x potential. Why did I read that? I have no idea. But nice tweet here. This is where we are. Yeah, right before the bull run and right before Bitcoin goes to 300,000. Not my projection there. And kind of reiterating our stance here on the long-term projection for Bitcoin. Looking at this on a weekly time frame and just, getting back to the bones of the chart. Where are all my I lost a lot of my drawings. I don't know what happened. Anyways, long story short, we are, coming into the halving consolidation period, and if we can reclaim the white 200 simple there, that's going to look good for, a test of 65,300. That's kind of the first or major area of resistance I see to the upside, and that's probably going to coincide with a 618 fib. No, it's going to be the 786. So we already tagged the 618, pulled back to the 382. This is the area we want to hold. We don't want to close below there tomorrow. That would be bad. And in fact, this is a day-old chart, so let's look at it from a more reasonable perspective. Hitting that 618, double tapped into it. Not exactly what I want. I want to see a daily closure back above this level at 61,998. In my opinion, there is a bunch of liquidity tagged up here. Might as well pull up high block capital. Excellent for liquidation levels. There's a link in the description below if you guys want to get hooked up there. This is my Bitcoin rally shirt. We need Bitcoin to rally here. It really does need to pick itself up by its bootstraps. Otherwise, things are going to get not as friendly. Not as friendly. All right, so we got declining volatility. So, again, you're not going to expect a big move on declining volatility unless that starts to tick back up. The 5-day volatility is keeling back over, so that does lean more towards a bounce. And the weekly, let's get rid of that fib. Weekly bearish divergence is a killer. I'll tell you that much. So we do not want to see another lower high formed up here, in my opinion. That would likely beget some continuation to the downside, but we'll save that one for another day. Currently, volatility is expanding, momentum's to the upside. We're rejecting the bearish control zone. These are all bullish things, and this is a drive of hidden bullish divergence, which will confirm any kind of a closure back above 62,665. And I would say just ticking above there, likely going to give us a free ride into this zone. I hate to say that, but that's just what the chart's looking like at the moment. And then the question is, short or not, judge it from there. Specifically, I saw another one that we had been following. The Gaussian channel just got a test, almost a perfect test, which is this guy right here. GAU on the daily time frame. Perfect test on the daily time frame. And you can measure out, some of the statistics here, but generally this is a bullish factor, and as long as we don't close below the bottom side of the Gaussian channel, well, things are looking onwards and upwards for the bulls. For the bulls out there, I'm just curious to see what have the results been in the past. Well, we got out of the red zone. I would call that a test, and bang, 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 bang to the upside. That was a big run. Broke out, retest, and boom. So what do? We broke out, we retested, and boom, and we're getting another test. So just a tertiary background information there. We have Bitcoin production costs coming in around 47,000 in that area as well. Bitcoin dominance, I'm going to take off the Gaussian channel. I'm going to take that back off. Actually, let's go like that. Nope, that didn't do it. Boom. Get rid of you. Okay. So the 618 coming in here at about 60%, and I guess that is the target, and some people are calling a Bitcoin dominance top right now. To me, that, it's pretty close, but not there yet. All right. And when that Bitcoin dominance does start to roll over, again, that's going to be more, when alts start to get their life back, and the ETH Bitcoin chart. Just peeking my head in on this one as, well, it had a bit of a down party here. So Ethereum, Bitcoin outperforming Ethereum. No structure change so far. Still making those lower highs and lower lows, but first potential, well, for a higher high. And I have seen ETH come back in the charts a bit. I do believe, again, it's going to be a bit of a catch-up trade. ETH, Solana, you know, these are, you know, some of the prime tokens to go. Toncoin had a massive recovery. Yep, I think that's going to be it out of me today, but just throwing it back down for Bitcoin and just, you know, what to be, you know, to be prepared for a wick test in this zone. So having some dry gunpowder ready to deploy. And then on the other side, just waiting for full confirmation, a high volume candle above the white 200 simple, probably good enough for me. Or the weekly hidden bullish divergence gets confirmation with a weekly closure back above that wick, probably good enough for me. And the 5-day volatility now declining. So, you know, just, and we'll cross down below 62,432, 4 days left to go there. 4-day is crossed down at the moment. 3-day is going to be down. And the 2-day is going to be down. So daily is the only thing that is up. Higher term time frames need to start to flip around here soon. Again, Bitcoin rally shirt on today. Hopefully in the aftermarket hours, we get a bit of a pump into the, you know, the rally or the Fed meeting tomorrow, the CPI report. So CPI inflation report's going to come out tomorrow morning, very, very early. And I would expect some volatility around there. And generally, the way the market's kind of been playing is going into the meeting. If we rally, well, then it sells off. So if, you know, overnight hours, we start to see Bitcoin, especially on this 15-minute time frame. I was actually looking for a bit of a reset here. Kind of just, you know, one more test down to about 59.3. But if they go for the, you know, short-term liquidity grab, you know, level 1, 61.8, level 2, 62.4. So if we get some kind of a bounce up into that region going into the meeting, you know, something like that, then I expect a pullback first. Noticing that we have broken the white 200 simple on the 4-hour time frame for the first major, you know, closure back above there. All we want to do is see a higher low in this zone, and that's, you know, with the stop loss back here, and, you know, should be good for a short-term move to the upside. All right, that's it out of me today. If you guys want to learn more, there is Crypt Courses, a link in the description below. Last chance to get that discount. So make sure you take advantage today. I will see you in the next one, and take care. I'm going to stop that record.